Hi everyone, Salesforce Admin Day 1. Today we'll go through the administration part. What is the administration? And then we'll talk about the support admin. And then we'll talk about the issue classification. Issue classification. And the fourth one is a development admin. And then we'll talk about the issue types in Jira. And then we'll talk about the issue types in ServiceNow, TFS. And we'll see one of the requirement, the real-time requirement, how the real-time requirement will be. And we'll implement that real-time requirement. If time permits, we'll talk about the user in Salesforce. Then we will talk about what are the navigation steps to create a user in Salesforce. And how to add a single user, how to add a multiple users. Then we'll have a quiz, homework, today's interview. So these are the topics that we are going to learn today. Now, first thing, what is administration? Is anybody? What do you know? Administration.
Managing organization.
Who manages the things? Yes, yeah.
Manages the activities in the organization.
Right. Managing the organization activities, yes. You're right.
Managing the server and its configuration.
Okay. Fine. So administration. Okay. So the first part, let's understand what is the administration. Administration is a process of managing Salesforce server and its configuration. Process of managing Salesforce server and its configuration is called administration. Now, a person who manages the organization to the specific, which is also called as a administration. There are two types of a administration in Salesforce administration. We are especially talking about Salesforce administration. There are two types of administrators. One is support admin, second one is a development admin. First one is support admin, second one is a development admin. Salesforce administration is, there are two different types of admin. One is a support admin, second one is a development admin. Support admin work is a different, development admin work is a different. So administration is nothing but a process of managing Salesforce server. A process of managing Salesforce server and its configuration is called as a administration. And in Salesforce, there are two types of a administration. One is support admin, second one is a development admin. Now, what are the different type of Salesforce administrations?
Support and
Development.
Support and development.
Offline. Support and right. So we have a two type of Salesforce administration. One is a support admin, second one is a development admin. Now let's understand the first one, support administration. The first one is, let's understand support administration. Support administration. Administration that handle the issues and queries post deployment. Administration that handles the issues and queries post deployment. So there are, whenever we are working in a real time, in the real time, for example, right now we got a requirement. We received a requirement from the client, right? So for this requirement, assume that it will take 2 weeks of time to implement it. 2 weeks of time to implement the requirement. When this requirement comes to, when requirements is, whenever the developer go through this requirement, he will implement in 2 weeks of time. Now here, developer is implementing the code. Developer is implementing the code. After the development is done, once it is tested, assume that here we have a different team who is a QA, So assume that QA is passed everything. The changes, whatever is there, he has reviewed it and he has approved it. Once it is approved, then we will deploy that to the production. Now here we have a production. Production is nothing but a client. So whenever the data is pushed to the production, now there are two phases. One phase is before the production. One phase is before the production. One phase is before the production. One phase is after the production. This is called as a before production. And this is after production. Some members, few developers will call it as a after go live. In real time, few projects or few developers says that after go live. And here it is a before go live. This is before go live. Before production or a before go live, after production, after go live. In between, we have a client. That means before I'm pushing the data to the production and after pushing the data to the production, there are different teams who handles it. Now, support admin work is after the production. Support admin, they handle the issues that are raised by the client. Handle the issues or queries which are raised by the client is handled by the support admin. Now, support admin work is on ticket as well as issues. Support admin work is ticket as well as the issues. That means they will work on either the ticket or the issues. Issues is nothing but cases. Now there are different tools how we receive a issues or a ticket, support team or support admin or a development. These are the one which we have it. So there are different tools also available. But most of the companies use Jira, Confluence. There are other companies who use the different tools as well. That we will see later. Let's assume that right now we are using the Jira and Confluence. Through the Jira, we receive all the different type of issues. What are the different type of issues? We have a type of issues which are called as a user-related issues. One of the issue is user-related issue. User-related issues are example, password, access issue, user permissions, authorization, approval issues. And there are other type of issues are application issues. performance issues, which is a application issue. Application downtime, which is a application issue, functionality issue, email issue, validation, whatever the related to application, it called as a application issue. Then we have a data related issues. Then we have data related issues. Data related issues are, which are nothing but data. For example, I'm not able to save the data, incomplete data, unable to update the data, cannot store the data, retrieving the issues. So these are the different type of issues. And then the last one is a security related. Security related. Anything which is related to security all goes into the security related issues. These are the different type of issues that support admin will work on it. Support admin will work on it. Support admin is either they will work on user related issue or application issue or data related issues or security related issues. Security related issues. User related issues are nothing but anything that is related to user. User not able to log in, right? Or user password issue or permission issue, authorization issue or approval issue. And there is a application issues. Application issues also work by the support admin. Support admin will work on like a performance issues, application downtime, right? Whatever the down is there, functionality issues, email issues, or validation issues. These all are application issues. Data related issues are incomplete data, unable to update data, cannot store the data, retrieve the data. Security related is encryption issues, firewall issues, virus, malware. So basically in simple word, if I have to tell support admin work is whatever the work which does not include the coding part, which does not include the coding, those kind of a work is done by the support admin. They will not involve in the coding. Support admin, they will not involve in the coding part. Whatever without coding, any issue is there. Sometimes they might have to review the code, but not at very high level, they will not write a code. Okay, maybe they might be writing in very low level of coding or some kind of a validation rule, formula field, those kind of things they will be writing it, but not very high level coding. They will not write very high level coding. So which are the issues that does not include the coding part is handled by the support admin. Which are the issues that does not handle or that does not require a code to implement, those analysis can be done by the support admin. Those analysis can be analysis done by the support. So in case if the code is involved, what they will do is support admin will do the basic analysis. Then once they are done with the basic analysis, they will pass that ticket to the other team. They will pass the ticket to the other team. Who is the other team? We will see that. So which are the related issues are there? Those issues are wherever the code is not involved, mostly it will be taken by the support administration. Now here we have a Jira and Confluence. Here we have a tools are Jira and Confluence. How the Jira looks like. Now Jira is, this is the one. Jira, this is the Jira software. This is Jira software. Anybody wants to try this, you can install it by going to the Google. Just search here Jira software, Jira free version software. Google Jira free version, Jira free download or a free version. Just search here. This is the one. Get Jira software for free. Get Jira software for free. Now take this, only the first one. You can take this also Jira service management, but this is a high velocity. That means very high level we are going to use it. For just learning purpose, you can select this. So this is the URL. If anybody wants to try it, they can try. This is a free version. Select this Confluence page and click on a next. Once you click on a next, then it will ask you a couple of steps. Just go through those steps and then you can create this kind of a Jira. You can create this kind of a Jira. Now here in the Jira, we have a project. We have a project. Project is, we have a different projects are there. Different projects are there. For example, I got a new project, which is assume that I got a new project. Click on that. What did I do here right now? Project, create a project. Create a project. In the project, create a project. Click on this and choose which are the one you want. You want a Kanban view, or you want a Scrum view, or you want a bug tracking. Bug tracking, which is nothing but whatever the QA is raised it, only for that I wanted to track. For now, let's assume that I wanted to go for a Scrum. I wanted to go for a Scrum. Now click on this Scrum. Now I'll say that use this template. Now you can choose any team managed, company managed, just select the team managed. Here is the project details. Just enter the project details. For example, I received a project, education. Education, I need to implement a project for the education. Now click on create. Now as soon as I click on a create here, there is a new project that gets created. There is a new project that gets created. Now as soon as the project is created, by default, we'll get a, for this project, we'll get a roadmap, backlog. This is a product backlog. This is product backlog. That means all the backlog, whatever the stories are there, everything will sit into the product backlog. Everything will sit into the product backlog. And then we have a board. Board is which is actively working on, the one which we are working, the one which we are working on it. So in the real time, we have a certain process. We have a certain process. Now that process is basically right now in the real time, whenever we get a project, now that project is first business analyst will be involved. Business analyst will be involved. Now here, in this scenario, let's assume that I have a team here. I have a team. This team is going to specifically focus on gathering the requirement from the client. Who is this team? This team is BA as well as the product owner, BA or a product owner, right? Or BA or product owner or a project manager also will be there. Now here they will collect all the requirements. Whatever the requirements that client is asking about, everything they will collect it and they will store all the requirements. Let's assume that we are getting 100 requirements. Now these 100 requirements, we will collect it and we will put it into the backlog. Backlog is nothing but the product backlog. What are the backlog we have? The product backlog. Now, which is nothing but these are the requirements. Where do we store it? We store it into the, here we have a backlog. Let's assume that I received a story which is a user related. Now let's assume I'm creating a ticket here. User not able to log in. Now let's click on here, create. Now here, whenever we are creating a ticket, you will see task, bug, epic, and story. task, bug, epic, and story. These are the different things are there. Epic is a very big story that can be divided into the stories. For example, here I'll say that user is not able to log in. Now here I'll say that some user like let's assume that Abhijit is not able to log in Salesforce. Now, we will assign it to a person. Whoever is all the developers or a support admin will have access to the Jira software. All the developers and a support admin will have access to the Jira software. Now we will assign it to the single person. What is the label? Now you have a label. Now here is the sprint. That means you will have a sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, right? So what is this sprint here? Basically, now we are getting a requirements here. Once we are getting the requirements, now in between that we have some sprint activities will be there. Here we'll have some sprint activities. Now what are the sprint activities here? Sprint activities are, we have some sprint activities. One is a sprint planning, another one is a sprint backlog. Now here, this is the sprint planning. We will be doing the planning. Planning of what I'm going to work on it. Planning of what each developer is going to work on it. Now, once they decide what is the planning, then they will take those tickets from the product backlog. They will take these tickets from the product backlog and put it into the sprint backlog. So here 100 are there. Out of 100, we are taking the 10 requirements. And those 10 requirements, we will place it into the sprint backlog. Now, once this is placed into the sprint backlog, then we have something called, then once it is placed into the sprint backlog, now that's how that means we are ready to start the work. As soon as we put that, I'm taking out some requirement from this bucket to the sprint bucket. As soon as I place into the sprint bucket, that means developers or admin, everybody, whoever is involved in the team, everybody starts working on it. So that means they have a certain cycle will be there. That cycle is called as a sprint cycle. That means this sprint cycle is nothing but 2 weeks of sprint. Like this, if you have a project that you need to implement, for assume that 1 month is the project. If it is a 1 month of the project, in this 1 month, they divide 1 month to the every 2 weeks. That means this is the pipeline. In this pipeline, they will divide it. That means they will make it as a 4 weeks. In a month, they will make it as a 4 weeks. Assume that, or 2 weeks. Assume that it is a 2 months of pipeline. This is a 2 months of pipeline. 2 months. The project is going to implement in a 2 months. Now, for 2 months, what they will divide is, they divide the 2 months into the smaller pieces. That means first one is called as a sprint 1, second one is called as a sprint 2, and the third one is called as a sprint 3. And the fourth one is called as a sprint 4. Now each sprint will have a 2 weeks of time. Now, once this is 2 weeks of time. 2 weeks of time. Now, once this is done, then we'll have a final product here. We'll have a final product which is ready for the client. Final product which is ready for the client. This is a final product where we are giving to the client. Final project that is ready for the client. That means we have finished all the work. Now each sprint will have a cycle here. So first it will be sprint 1. Now they have some cycle here. After that it is a sprint 2. Again it is a cycle. After that we have a sprint 3. Again it is cycle. After that we have a sprint 4. This is the cycle will be there. Once this cycle is done, then next each cycle we will be pushing it. For example, right now we are in cycle 1. That means sprint 1. We are in sprint 1. Now, whenever the sprint 1 is completed, that means 2 weeks is done. Once the 2 weeks is done, then they will push it, because in this sprint 1, whatever the sprints are there, in that sprint, we will have a dev team is involved, admin team is involved, QA team is involved, right? Different teams are involved here during the sprint. Also, BA also involved it. Architect is also involved. So everybody is involved in this sprint activities. Once this sprint is done, that means we are going to deliver the piece of work. To the client. Client, in a sense, we have another sandbox there. That means I am delivering the piece of the work. Out of 100 requirement, 10 requirements delivering it. Delivering the 10 requirements. 10 requirements. Out of 100 requirements, we are delivering the 10 requirements in sprint 1. Now again, the sprint 2 will start. Whenever the sprint 2 will start, the sprint 2, again, it will go through the cycle. We will deliver another 10 requirement. Again, sprint 3 will start it. Sprint 3 also will go through that activities, and we will deliver another requirement. Now, similarly, sprint 4. Sprint 4 also we are going to deliver the requirement. Like this, in entire cycle, we will be delivering some requirement. Now, whenever we are delivering it, how are we going to track it? So first of all, here I have a sprint. This is going to tell you that I am in which sprint. Now, story point, I'll cover that later. Now, this is those are the information, subject, description, these are the mandatory. Whose it is assigned? Who is a person? It is assigned. And which sprint we are in? Now click on a create. This is done by the BA. Sometimes developers also does it. Now, do you see here? Nothing. We cannot see any requirement here. We cannot see any requirement. But in the backlog, I can see one requirement. Now here I do not see anything. Now if I click on a create, now it says that here sprint 1. Now let's go ahead and add the ticket here, go to the backlog. Now I'll select this. Now I'll select this, then I can place it into the backlog. Now I'll say here start. 2 weeks of sprint, start date is today, then it is start. Now as soon as I click on a start date, immediate share. So here we are going to see the projects. What are the projects are there? What are the stories? So this is a story. If you hover it here, this is a one story. Like that, you will have a different stories which are sitting in the to-do. To do is nothing but here, to do is nothing but we have not started the work. To do is nothing but we have not started the work. As soon as whenever you say that I'm ready to take the require, I'm ready to start working on this, then you need to move the ticket to the in progress. You need to move the ticket to the in progress. Now, that means you are working on it. That means you are working on it. How can you say that here there is a status will be there? Here there is a status will be there. No, whenever it is in progress, that means this person is working on it. This person is working on it. Now, once it is working, once it is done, once it is, you have completed it. Once you are completed it. Once you are done, then you need to move it to the QA. You need to move it to the QA. Once it is QA is tested and passed, then you need to move to the QA will move it to the done. Now, as soon as you move it to the done QA, from QA to done status, either QA will be doing it or a project manager. Right? So these are the different activities we will do it in the real time. These are the different activities we will do it in the real time. Now that's about the JIRA. So those are the different type of issues we will receive it for the support admin. So user related issues, password issues, application issues, data related issues, security related issues. Right? Now, what are the different type of issues?
User-related issues.
Issues, application issues,
Application issues,
data-related
data-related
issues,
Security
security related.
Yes, user-related issues.
Right, user related, application related,
Application data
data
security.
security related. These are the work which is taken by the support admin. These are the work which is taken by the support admin. Now, issue classification. Issue classification. This is very important to understand. It's not part of a Salesforce, but this is part of your real-time work. This is part of your real-time work. Why it is important is you should know which ticket is a story, which one is a ticket, which one is a bug, which one is a really high, which I need to work on it. Because sometimes what happens is in a day, you will be assigned to 4 tickets. In a day, you will assign to the 4 tickets. That means 4 stories you need to work on it in a day. So in that case, it is very important to understand issue classification. So issue classifications are, there are different type of issue classification. One is a low, second one is a medium, and the third one is a high, fourth one is a critical. Critical is nothing but mostly critical issues are level 1 issues. Mostly critical issues are level 1 issues. That means it has a certain SLA. SLA is nothing but service level agreement. Critical issues are always level 1. That means you need to respond them within 8 hours. You need to respond them within the 8 hours. Now, high is nothing but level 2 issues. Level 2 issues. And the SLA for this is you need to respond within the 8 to 16 hours. Critical issues are within 8 hours. That means within 1 day. High is possible that within 2 days or 3 days you can respond it. Medium is nothing but level 3. Medium is nothing but level 3. For the level 3 SLA is you need to respond between the 16 to 96 hours. That means in a 4 days. 4 to 5 days you can respond the medium issues. Level 4 is low issues. Low issues could be a, you can respond it within the 96 hours or a greater than 96 hours. That doesn't matter. Right? So low is very, very less important. Whenever we have a time, we can take a look at into the low type of issues. Now here critical is nothing but mostly we will receive related to the user related issues. Mostly we will receive user related issues are a critical issues because user is blocked there. User is blocked. When I say high is nothing but security related. Security related or high. That means something is sharing the data to other person, right? or some issues related to the data visibility, right? So those kind of issues will go into the high. Medium issues are nothing but application issues. Medium is nothing but application issues. Low is nothing but whichever is not blocking the business. Whichever is not blocking the business is called as a low issue issues. That means anything which is blocking the business. Blocking in a sense, nobody can go further or user cannot go further to do certain steps. In that case, that means it is blocking the customer, it is blocking the business. In that case, all the blocking issues goes to the critical. All the blocking issues goes to the critical. And then all the security issues, it's not blocking, but it is important to solve that issue within 16 hours. Because the security problem, data sharing visibility or data visibility or some data which is not displayed, which is displaying to the other members, users are able to certain information of Salesforce which should not be happen. Those kind of issues are high issues. Those kind of issues are high issues which should be resolved within the 16 hours. And then we have a medium. Then we have a medium type of issues. Medium type of issues need to be resolved within 96 hours. That means 4 days or 5 days. 4 days or 5 days. Within this time, you need to resolve the issues. Those are related to application issues. Low is nothing but which is not blocking the business, not that important, but we should resolve it within the 96 hours, could be a greater than 96 hours, could be a greater than 96 hours. Now, where can you see that this, what are the different type of issues are there? Where could we see? In the Jira. In the Jira, whenever you open here, you have a type of issue. Let's create a new one. Now click on a create. Now here we have a label, sprint, story point. Now whether it is linked to blocks or is not cloned, right? Select a type. Now here it is not giving the. Now here you have a priority levels. There is a field called priority levels. Priority is wherever you see the priority in the Jira, lowest is nothing but no impact to the business. No impact to the business. Low is nothing but minor problem, but it's required some kind of a either workaround or we need to resolve it. Medium is nothing but potential effect. That means it's little bit very important, not that important, but very basically those are related to application issues. Might be we need to, if you do not have any of this low, lowest or high, highest, if you do not have, the first thing is you need to look at the medium cases. If you have a medium case in your name, there are some medium cases, there are some low cases, there are some lowest cases are there. Then you need to look at the medium case because this has to give in the first priority. Now next one is a high, which is a serious problem, Maybe it is blocking the user. Highest is nothing but a critical. So critical is nothing but this is blocking the progress. It is blocking the progress. For example, if you have received a task, which is a high and the low, and then lowest you have received it. Which one do you look at it among this? Which ticket do you look at it? For example, you have received the high, low, lowest. These are the tickets which you have received. Out of this, which ticket do you look at it?
High.
High.
High, you will look at it. If you have a only medium, low, lowest.
Medium.
Medium.
Only medium, you will look at it. When you have a low, lowest.
Low.
Low.
Either you can take a low or a lowest. That should not be fine. That should be fine. Right. So these are the different type of issues which we have in the Jira. Now you take any software, you take any tool, could be a Jira tool, could be a one Jira, could be a TFS, could be a ServiceNow. There are different tools are there. If you take any tool, so that tool will be having the type of issues. That tool will have a type of issues, low, medium, high, critical. Now, what are the issue classification types?
Low, medium,
Low, medium,
medium, high, critical.
critical.
High, medium, low, low, medium, high, critical. Yes. Low, medium, high, critical. Right. Now, we are clear with the support admin. We are clear with the support admin. From the administration, the first one we have learned the support admin. Now the next one we are going to do is, we are going to learn is a development administration. The next one which we are going to learn is a development admin. Yes, severity 1, severity 2, severity 3 also are levels which are usually the severity will be with the bugs. With the bugs, that means whatever the usually it is like a client has raised few tickets or a bugs, which is a severity 1, which is nothing but severity 1 is nothing but you have a severity 1 is nothing but which is similar to the okay, so in detail you can go through this. Severity 1 is basically critical issue. Severity 2, 3 are nothing but a high, medium, low, right? So those are the severity also will be there. No, client will not provide any documentation. Before you join the company, you should be aware of it. Okay, you should be aware of it. So that means client will not say related to this. This is nothing to do with the client. This is nothing to do with the client. But client will say that if they are raising a ticket, they will mention that, client will mention that we need this issue to be resolved within 8 hours. They will say that we need to resolve this issue within 8 hours. That means whenever we receive a ticket from the client, what business analyst will do is, business analyst will make it as a critical. Right? If we convince the client, in case if the business analyst convince the client saying that it takes some more time, that means we might provide you in 16 hours with the, instead of 8 hours. That means in that case, we can have it as a high. Okay, if we are able to convince the client, we need some more time, we can change the priority. But if client is very hard, like they are saying that I need it within 8 hours, then it should be critical. Then it should be critical. So low level is basically what type of issues will be there in low level? Anybody? What type of issues will be there in the low level?
Desktop problems.
Issues which are not blocking. Which are not blocking. When I say not blocking in a sense, when I say not blocking is nothing but some configuration issues. Some configuration issues or some minor issues, right? Or else we have some improvement on the existing, but that list view, there is something called as a list view, right? Or a kind of a page layout. Some minor things are there, page layout changes, right? Creating the user, creating a new user, but it is not that important because this user is a new user, right? Anything which is not affecting or not blocking the business, those are comes into the low level. Everybody can do the support admin work. Okay, it's basically you will not decide. The company will decide. The company is going to place you support admin or a development admin. It's up to the, we cannot decide that only freshers should be doing the support admin, only experience will be doing the development work, development admin. We cannot decide it. It's a company. Its company will decide it. Based on your skills, they are going to place you in the either system support admin or development admin. Clear, Vasavi? Okay. Now let's move on to the development admin. Now development admins are nothing but development admin is nothing but participating in a project development to perform a non-programming development activities. Non-programming development activities, right? That means what? Non-programming development activities are nothing but some kind of a minor customization, configuration, reporting, lightning flows, approval process, dashboard, right? Some kind of a automation that you are implementing where you are not writing the code in the lightning, where you are not writing the code in the LWC. They are doing the development activities, but those development activities are non-programming. In Salesforce, non-programming is nothing but what is the programming in Salesforce, which are involved in the code writing in Apex, Aura, LWC, right? These are the, or integration. These all are the code that you are going to write. Apart from this, there are so many non-programming activities there for the development. So many non-programming activities there for the developers, which are customization, configuration, reporting, lightning flows, approval process, dashboard. Now again, development is divided into the two types. One is a programming development, another one is a non-programming development. Development is divided into two types. One is a programming development. Second one is a non-programming development. Programming development is nothing but actual development done by the development team. That means this team is writing the code. That means they are writing the LWC, or they are writing the Aura, or they are writing the Apex, or they are writing the integration. Some code that they are implementing it. They are implementing some code. So these, whatever these activities are there, they are done by the programming development. They are actually doing the development in order to fix the certain issues. Now the second one is a non-programming development. Non-programming development is nothing but these are. That means after the deployment, if there are any issues, after the deployment, if there are any issues, then handled by the dev admin, then handled by the dev admin. Now, in this case, first it will go to the issue will go to the, first it will go to the support admin. The issue, first it will go to the support admin. Now we have a support admin. First it will go to the support admin. If the support admin is not able to solve the issue, If support admin is not able to solve the issue, then it will go to the non-programming development. Then it will go to the non-programming development. Non-programming development. In case if this team is not able to solve, then it will go to the development team. Then it will go to the programming development team. Programming development team. Now, this is the structure of resolving the issues. But this structure, you may not see it in every company. Sometimes programming development is itself working on the support admin. They are working on the non-programming. Some companies will have only the programming development. Some companies just have a support admin. Some companies just have a non-programming. Some companies will have a proper structure in order to solve the issue. Okay, it's depending on how the company is handling the team. Now, but actually, as per the standard, development is divided into programming development, non-programming development. Non-programming development is nothing but after the deployment, if there are any issues that are raised by the client, will be handled by the non-programming development. Now, programming development is where they are actually implementing the code. Could be they are doing it before the deployment, after the deployment. It's up to them. Now, this is the development admin. Now, what development admin do? What is the development admin do?
Customization, configuration.
Participate in a project development to perform non-programming development activities.
Development admins divided into two parts, right? Programming.
Right? Now, participating in project development to performing non-programming development activities. Right? Development are done in the programming activities. Yes. So participating in project development to perform non-programming development activities is done by the development admin team. Now, issue types, we have, as we have seen in the JIRA, there are a epic, story, task, bug, right? Estimate, deployment, these all different type of issue types will be there. Now, epic is nothing but a very big story. It's a larger story. Very big story. It's kind of a very big book, the books which we have. Example, if somebody watch a movie, Bahubali, right? So it is a very big story. What they have done is first version and a second version. So actually the entire story of the movie is very big. No, nobody cannot watch that movie for 8 hours or 4 hours, right? Now, similarly, in the here also, epic is a very large story, which is very difficult to implement this large story in a 1 week of time. In 1 week of a time, it is very difficult to implement. So for this story, what we have done is we have divided, epic is divided into the story 1 and story 2. Similarly, movie 1, movie 2. So that whatever the dedicated time is there, in the dedicated time, we will implement, developers will implement the code and they will deliver. Again, this story can be divided into again smaller pieces. Now, story 1 is given to the developer. Now, developer again, they can create their own task. They will create a task and they will implement a certain task there. That means story also, if it is a big, Story also, if it is a big, then they will divide into the task, 1 task and 2 tasks. So this is the structure. Epic is a very large. Epic is divided into the stories. Again, the story is divided into the task. This is before the deployment. This is before the deployment. After the deployment or during the testing phase. After the deployment or during the testing phase, we receive a bug. We receive a bug. Bug is nothing but there is some issue, the defect. Bug or a defect. Bug or a defect. It's a bug or a defect. Nothing but there is some issue in your code. Some issue in your code. So bug, which is raised by the QA, or client also can raise it. And also client can raise it as a improvements. There are something called as a improvement. That means your functionality is working perfectly fine, but it's required some improvements. And the next one is a new feature. After the deployment, they will come up with, client will come up with a new feature or a new enhancement, which is called as this new feature or a new enhancement. New feature or new enhancement. New enhancement. These are the activities done by the dev admin team or a development admin team. Dev admin team or a development admin team, support admin also does it. Support admin also does it. So these are the different activities we will be doing it in real time while working on the different type of issues. While working on different type of issues. Now, what are different type of issues in before deployment?
Bugs.
Before deployment.
Epic story.
Epic story. Epic.
Epic story.
Epic bug.
Task.
Task.
Epic story. Bug.
Before deployment, we'll have an epic story and task.
Task.
Now, how about after deployment?
Bug or
Bug.
Bug.
Improvement.
New feature or new enhancement.
Bug, improvement, new
New
feature.
feature.
Bug, improvement, and new feature. Now, if you take another tools, there are a few companies who uses the ServiceNow, TFS, OneZero, right? These are the one they will use it. There also we have a same concept. Before deployment, we have a epic, feature, user story, task. This is the before deployment. After deployment, we'll have a defect, feature, and change request. In other tools also, we have this kind of a, maybe the sometimes names are different. Sometimes names are different, but you will overall it will be larger story, which is nothing but a epic, or they may call it as a feature, and smaller one they call it as a story or a user story. Then very small one, which is called as a task. After deployment, we'll have a defect, bug, also feature, change request. Some members will call it as a change request. Change request is nothing but where there is some changes which we are doing on existing project. Where we are doing some changes on the existing project, which is called as a change request. Right? These are the different terminology that you will be keep on hearing it whenever you are in a daily stand-up, or whenever you are discussing with the project manager, whenever you are giving updates to the project manager. These are something that you will keep on, either you will be saying it or you will be hearing it. These are something that you will be saying that I'm working on this story, or I'm working on this defect. I'm working on the change request, I have a question on this feature. I have a question on user story. User story is not clear, right? So these are the terminology, you will keep on saying it. Is everybody clear till this point? Issue types?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's move on. Let's take a requirement. How the requirement we will have it. So let's go ahead and create a requirement. Now let's assume I got a new requirement. Let's create it. The requirement is assume that it's a story. Now here subject is add new user in Salesforce. Add new user in Salesforce. And the description is add following users in Salesforce and provide admin access to this user. That means what I'm saying here is create a new user and provide the admin access to the new user. Provide a admin access to the new user. Admin access means they should have all the whatever the Salesforce, like here. If I go to the Salesforce, now this is my user. If you click on this profile, go to the setting. Now this setting will have go to the advanced user details. You will see here system admin. That means whenever whoever the user has a profile called system administrator, whoever the user, this is a user, this is one of the user. This user has a profile system administrator. Whoever is the users have a profile system administrator. That means they are going to get a complete admin access. That means they can do in the Salesforce whatever they want. They can view everything in the Salesforce. Now, the requirement is add a new user in a Salesforce. Who is the user? User details we need to put it below. Now, user first name is football candidate Lionel. And user last name is whoever watches the football, they might be knowing this person. Messi, right? And the user email. Let's assume that lm@gmail.com. And the access is admin access. Admin access is nothing but they need a system administrator profile. Let's give it as a admin access. Now this is the details and you can give the mobile number. Let's assume that user mobile number. User mobile number plus 9155. Some number I'm giving it. This is not the Messi number. Okay. So this is the number. Now I'll say here, we are saying that create a following user in Salesforce and provide the admin access to this user. Now this is the description. Who is the assignee? Assignee, we have only one person here. Label is nothing is there. Sprint, we are in the sprint one. Click on create. As soon as we click on a create, it is added here. Now this is the requirement. What is the requirement here? Subject is a add new user in Salesforce. Description is a add following user in Salesforce and provide admin access to the users. User first name, user last name, user email, access, and the mobile number. We need to create this. Now, This is the requirement that we have received. This is the requirement we have received it. So when we have received this requirement, now here some words which I am hearing it. User. I'm hearing the few words for the first time. User. Right? Admin access. These are the some new words which I am hearing it. I don't know the user. What is the user in Salesforce? I don't know. What is the admin access? I don't know. What is this? Now let's go ahead and understand what is the user here. Let's understand what is the user. User is anyone who log into the Salesforce. A user, anyone who log into the Salesforce is called as a user. That means in the real time, one of the interview question they will ask is that how many users do you have in Salesforce? How many users do you have in Salesforce? In real time, maximum it will be users. Actually, client users are maximum will have a 200 users or a 300 users if it is a small project. If it is a small project, you might say it as 100 users. If it is a larger project, you can say 300 users. 300 users or 1,000 users will be there, right? You can say 1,000 users for the longer project. User is nothing but whoever is having access to the Salesforce. Whoever is having access to the Salesforce. That means if anybody is logging into this Salesforce, anybody is logging into this Salesforce, or that means they are a user. They are user. Now I have logged into this Salesforce org. That means I am a user here. I am a user. User is nothing but whoever is having access to the log into that particular site. Log into that particular site is called as a user. Now simple example. Simple example. We have a bank account. We have a bank. Assume that there is a ICICI bank. ICICI bank. You have opened an account. As soon as you opened an account, what will happen? The first they will create your account. That means your user will be created in the bank. Your user account will be created in the bank. They will create in the ICICI bank. Whenever you want to open a bank account, the first thing what they will do, they will create your user account. That means whoever is the users that are logging into the ICICI bank is called as a users. Whoever is logging into the ICICI bank is called as a users. Similarly, in Salesforce also, whoever the users, whoever have access to log into this Salesforce, whoever is having access to log into the Salesforce is called as a user. Is called as a user. Users are employees. Users are employees at your company or a client or an internal team. Internal team. Users will include everybody. Users will include everybody. Users may be your employees, your company employees. Users might be client employees, client internal team, or managers or IT specialists. Who needs access to the company's record? That means who needs access to the Salesforce record? Everybody can be part of a user in a Salesforce. User is nothing but it's not only the end users. It's not only the end users. Now here in the bank, you are an end user for them, right? But is this your user only will be there? No, there will be a bank employees. There will be a bank employees. Bank employees should also need to have a access to the ICICI bank. Then only they can view that your transactions, right? And similarly, there is a IT specialist in the bank. They should also need it. Similarly, the managers also should need access to the ICICI bank, right? Now, basically everybody who are working on a ICICI bank, who are viewing the, so basically whoever is working on it, working members, whoever is the viewing the members, right? Whoever is registering the members, everybody needs access to the ICICI Bank. Everybody needs access to the ICICI Bank. Now, these are the different users we will have. Similarly, in Salesforce also, users are different users we have. Users could be employees, users could be your internal team, client manager, client IT people, right? In the client, we have a service team, sales team, marketing team. Everybody can be part of a Salesforce. Everybody can be part of a Salesforce. That's the reason you will see a lot of users records in the Salesforce, like 1,000 users will be there sometimes. Lot of user records will be there. So that's the reason they will ask in one of the interview questions, how many users do you have in your project? How many users do you have in your project? Now, how to create a user? Now we understood what is the user. Next thing is that how to create a user. How to create a user. If I have to create a user, because I have a requirement that says that create a new user. Now I'm started working on it. So what I'll do is I'll go to this to I'll update in progress. I'll update to in progress. That means I'm working on this story. I'm working on this story. Now navigation steps to create a user. Navigation steps are click on a setup. Click on setup, go to the administration and then click on a users. Once that means you will have this administration. There is here the parent one will be the users. Within that you will see again the users. So the navigation steps are, this is the home. By default you will be, assume that you are in sales application. Now you want to create a new user. Click on this setup. Click on the setup. Once you click on the setup, you will see home object manager. Home object manager. In the home, you will see here administration. In the administrator, just expand this user, then you will see users. Then you will click on the user. Administration, users, just click on the users. Or else, if you want to just type here, you can type it. Or else if you want to type it, you can type users. You can type users. As soon as you click on the users, by default, you will see some users. By default, you will see some users which is provided by the Salesforce. Now, out of this, one is you have created. One is you have created. So whenever you are creating the developer addition credentials, the first time when you logged in, right, you have given your username, password, right? This is the one which you have created, and rest three are provided by the Salesforce. Rest three are provided by the Salesforce. So by default, Salesforce is providing the charter free user. Salesforce is providing the analytic cloud user, right? There are two users which are integration user and a security user. These three users are provided by the Salesforce. These three users are provided by the Salesforce. Now here, whenever you click on a user button here, then it will open this page. It will open this page where it will show all the users. On this page, you can create, view, manage users. On this page, you can create, view, manage the users. Now here you have a few buttons. One is a new user. Second one is a reset password. The third one is a add multiple users. First, we will see the new user. How to create a new user. Now click on here, new user. When you click on a new user, this is the general information screen that first you will see it. This is the general information screen. Here you have a first name, user first name, user last name. Alias is auto-populated. Email, you need to enter. Username, you need to enter the username. What should be the username? Nickname. And then you have a role, right? Role, user license, profile. Now here in the user information, you know what is the last name, you know what is the alias, you know what is email, you know what is username, nickname. Alias is, don't worry about the alias if you do not know it. This is by default, Salesforce is updating it. You need not to know anything here. Nickname, you know. These words, you know it. But here some words which you do not know, those all are role. The first one is a role. And then you have a user license. You have a user license. And then you have a something called profile. You have a something called profile. These words, you are hearing it for the first time. You are hearing it for the first time. Don't know what is the role. Don't know what is the user license. Don't know what is the profile. Right? Now, first thing, let's understand the user license. These are the mandatory fields. Now here, last name, alias, email, username, nickname, these are the mandatory fields. Now similarly, we have a role, user license, profile is a mandatory, right? These are the mandatory fields while creating the user. These are the mandatory fields while creating the user. First, let's understand the user license. User license. What is this user license? That means, do I need a license in order to create a user in Salesforce? Do I need a license in Salesforce in order to create a user in Salesforce? Yes. User license is, you need a license. Any user that you are creating in Salesforce, you need a license. You need a license. So user license is nothing but a user license determines which features the users, which feature a user license determines which features the users can access the Salesforce. Now you need a license for each user. But what type of a license that you should be specifying it? There are different type of a license. There are different type of a licenses. For each user, you need to specify different type of a license, because that license will determine what is the access that you are giving to the users. That license determines what is the access or which feature that you are giving to the users. Which access that you are giving to the users is determined by the license. Now we have a different type of a licenses. We have a different type of licenses. Salesforce license, charter external licenses, charter free license, force.com license, Salesforce platform license, work.com only license. These are the different licenses we have. Salesforce license, charter external license, charter free license, force.com license, Salesforce platform license, work.com only license. These are the different licenses we have in a Salesforce. Now, where can I see these licenses in Salesforce? Where can I see these licenses in Salesforce? In order to see these licenses, search here company information. Search here company information. Now click on that company information. Here you see user licenses. User licenses. Go to the company information. There is an option called company information in the setup. In the setup, you have an option called company information. In the company information, you will see a section called user license. User license. We have a different type of a licenses like a Salesforce integration license. How many licenses we have it for the developer edition? 1 license. Salesforce, we have a 2 license. External apps login, we have a 20 licenses. Salesforce platform, we have a 3 licenses. Customer community, we have a 5 licenses. Like that, in the developer console, every license, in the developer console, you have a license. Now, Salesforce licenses, how many I can create it? I can create 2 licenses. Out of that, 1 license is already used. Who is the person already used here? Salesforce license?
System
Salesforce.
System administrator.
The user that you have created it for your org, right? For the first time when you are creating a developer edition. Now, is anybody in this class who does not know how to create a developer edition org? Whoever is a new members. Srinivas is a new, do you know Srinivas? Offline. Anybody who don't know the developer edition, how to create it?
I am new.
Okay, you are new to this. Okay, to create a developer edition, go to the Google, search here developer.salesforce.com. Whoever is don't know, search here developer.salesforce.com. Now, whoever knows, where should we go after that? Where should we go to create a developer edition? Most of the members already created it.
Login.
Sign up.
We need to click on it,
Login in Salesforce.
login, click on it, sales. But it is taking you to the login. It is taking you to the,
Sign developer.salesforce.com/sign up.
we have to go to, do we have an option here? Which I have already explained. From the developer.salesforce.com, where should we go for it? Not the login.salesforce.com. Login.salesforce.com is when you have a access.
Yes.
Now here you need to give sign up. You need to give sign up. For this sign up, go to this sign up and you will see this screen. Here you have a first name, last name, email, role, company, region, postal code, username. Now here we can give whoever is the person. Somebody said that they don't know, right? Who is that person? Srinivas and one more person in online. Who is this? Oppo CPH2285. Yeah, Harish. Okay. Harish. So just go to this developer.salesforce.com/sign up. right? Give here your first name and last name. For example, Srinivas. Let's give it as a Srinivas. And last name, whatever the last name is there, I'm just giving here. So give your working email ID. Give your working email ID, sk@gmail.com. Okay, whatever your working email ID, Gmail ID is there, just give that email ID. Role, give it as a developer. Company, give it as a Swapna IT. Give it as Swapna IT. Region, India or US, wherever the place you are in, just give the region here. Postal code, specify the postal code. And the username, you can give any username. Username is basically the one that you wanted to log into Salesforce. The one which you want to log into the Salesforce. The one which you want to log into the Salesforce, you can give that particular login. For example, in case the login here is, you can give Srinivas k@swapnaIT.com. swapnaIT.com. You can give this. Now let me open the slide of the developer edition. Okay, I could not find it, but you need to give here Srinivas k@swapnaIT.com and click on this I agree and just say sign me up. Say sign me up. Once you are done, you will receive an email. You will receive an email. You will receive an email. The email is welcome to the Salesforce. The email is welcome. Welcome to Salesforce. Verify account. You will receive like this. Thanks for signing up with the Salesforce. Verify account. And this is your URL, whatever the URL is there. So right now, this is the URL and this is the username. This is the username. Now you will receive like this. Click on this verify account. Once you click on the verify account, it will ask you to set up the password. It will ask you to set up the password. Right? Is it clear, Harish and Srinivas?
Clear, ma'am.
Okay. In case if you need any help, let team knows so they can help you. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So we have a different licenses which we have. So here the Salesforce license is 2 licenses. Out of them, one is already used. The one who is already used, whoever is created here, the credentials for them, that person is already have a system admin access. The person is already have a system admin access. That means here, the logged in user, whoever is the logged in user is there. This logged in user has a already license is occupied. License is occupied for them. And that's the reason it is saying that already used license is 1. Similarly, we have a community portal. We can create a 5 community portal, right? If you want to see more of them, you can see these are the different partner community. You can create a 5 customer community. You can create a 5 like a charter group. You can create there are charter group also there. Yeah, charter free. You can create a 5,000 licenses are there. Charter external 500 licenses are there. Course.com 2 licenses. So these are the different licenses are there. Now, when I assign a user this license, when I assign a user a Salesforce license, what will happen? If I assign a Salesforce license to the user, that time what will happen? It will provide the full access to the standard CRM. It will provide full access to the person. It will provide full access to the switch off all your cameras. Okay. Salesforce. So if I give a license of Salesforce, so what will happen? It will provide full access to the user. That means they will have all the access in the CRM, all the access in the CRM, including the app exchange. App exchange is nothing but what is the app exchange? We will see that later. But let's assume app exchange app, something you are installing in the Salesforce. App exchange is nothing but you are installing something in the Salesforce. Now, if I give a Salesforce license, they will give a full access to them. If I give a charter access, if I give a charter external access, now what will happen if I give a charter external access to the license, this license to the user, it will granted users outside, whoever is outside of the company, whoever is outside of the company, that means they do not need a complete access to the Salesforce. They do not need complete access to the Salesforce. They just need a charter group access. They just need a charter group or an email, some kind of a access they needed. They do not need a complete access to the Salesforce. Why they need a charter group access? Because if somebody is posting in the charter, somebody is posting in the charter. What do you mean by posting in the charter? Now let's go to the Salesforce here. In the Salesforce, you will see one object is called as a charter. One object is called as a charter. Now click on here charter. So this charter is similar like a WhatsApp group. Charter is similar to the WhatsApp group. So whatever you are posting here, today is first class of admin. Now I'm posting this. Click on share. Now as soon as I post it, the external users who does not have access to the Salesforce, they wanted to see this post. What are the post or a poll or questions that we are asking, or they wanted to have some kind of a email that wanted to receive it. Those kind of activities they wanted to see. If we have that kind of a user, then we will give a charter external use license. If we will give charter external license. Charter free is also similar to the charter. This is a free. This license is for users who need access to the charter but do not have a license, Salesforce license. Now, they want to open up the Salesforce. Now, this charter free is they wanted to open up the Salesforce. In this Salesforce, they do not want to see any object, but they wanted to see this charter object. They wanted to see this charter object. That means they have access to the Salesforce. For that Salesforce access, they can log into the Salesforce and only the object that they will see is a charter. The only object that they will see is a charter. I'll show you that by creating the one of the user. Now, next one is a force.com license. Force.com license. Force.com license is, this is the app subscription allows a user to access either a Lightning platform, Lightning app, or a enterprise app. That means something related to force.com, that you want to do some kind of somebody who does not require a Salesforce access, but they need access to the force.com to do certain activities of the Lightning platform, or to do like a enterprise app application, to do the coding, or some kind of things they wanted to do, but they just need a force.com. They do not need any other access. So these kind of users are very less in real time. 90% we do not use a force.com license in real time. 90% we do not use a force.com license in real time. Salesforce is just providing that. Now, next one is a Salesforce platform. Salesforce platform license. Salesforce license is a different, Salesforce platform license is a different. Salesforce platform license is, this is the platform license where the users will access some apps, but does not give a complete access to the CRM functionality. That means only few objects that they can see. Only few objects that they can see. That means they will not see all the objects, right? They will not see all the objects. So we will create one of the Salesforce platform license user and we will see. So they maximum see only few objects. They will not see all the objects. Certain access will be there. They will not have a complete access to the Salesforce platform license. And the next one is a work.com license. Next one is a work.com license. This is a very basic type of a license, very basic. The users who do not have access to the Salesforce.com license, but they need the work.com only user license. The work.com, there are something called as a work.com features. In Salesforce, we have something called as a feature called work.com feature. Now, there are few users who need only to access the work.com features. For that case, we will use the work.com only Salesforce access. This is also very rare in the real time. Very rare in the real time. So we have some feature which is available in the Salesforce, which is called as a work.com features. Whoever is working on the work.com, they will have a license which is related to the work.com. Is everybody clear on these licenses? There are many licenses, but these are the basic license which I am giving the information. Any questions? This is the details about the license. This is the details about the user license. In real time, we use a Salesforce license, Salesforce platform license. We have something called community licenses, partner community, customer community licenses, partner community, customer community licenses. Those are the licenses, mostly we will use it. Community licenses. Community is basically, it's a part of it. It is a part of it. It's not the Salesforce, it is a part of it. Because Salesforce offers pre-learning. Pre-learning. That means before you start your real-time work, you need some kind of a playground. Okay, before going to the actual cricket match, you need to practice it. Otherwise, you don't know how to do. Similarly, before going for a main exam, you need to practice it for some exam pre-preparation. Before going for an interview, you need to do the mock interviews. Those are why we are doing it, because to make you perfect, to make the developers perfect. Similarly, Salesforce is also providing the free addition to make the developer perfect, so that they will know that what are the features, what are the functionalities that are exist in the Salesforce. They can learn it, and then once they get the job, developer will feel the comfortable, start working on the project and helping the client. It's kind of a playground. You can apply to the support admin, development admin, whatever you have, you can apply it. Is that clear, Sandeep? Okay. Yes. You have a same licenses, but the quantity, when I say quantity, the number of licenses, number of licenses will be more, because in the real time, the number of license for the Salesforce is not enough. Now, how much will be there for the real time? There are different type of a Salesforce edition, unlimited edition, enterprise edition, right? Salesforce edition, if you search here, Google, Salesforce editions and prices. Now, CRM small business to the small to medium business. Monday.com. Now here we have a startup, which is a monthly, that is a $25, right? And then we have a professional, $75 per user. This is month, but how many users? It does not say that this is per 10 users. This does not say for the 5 users. It does not say. What it is saying that this is a professional edition month, $75. But how many licenses you are going to get it? So how they are going to give you what is the licenses is available for here? So the licenses which you are going to available here, it's a discussion between the company and, it's the discussion between the client and Salesforce. Client and Salesforce. So client says that we have 100 users. 100 users. Out of these 100 users, I have a 10 who needs the complete access. So this kind of a documentation given to the Salesforce by the client. Client has to submit some documentation to the client saying that how many users are there. Out of that, how many users need a complete Salesforce access? How many users need a community access? How many users need a partner access? So those all will be given to the Salesforce. Now Salesforce is going to suggest which one need to be used, professional or enterprise or unlimited. Enterprise or unlimited. These are the one which is going to be decided between the client and Salesforce. Now we have these are the different editions which are available. You can use for the starter edition, professional edition, enterprise edition, unlimited edition. Most of the times in the real time, they use it as an unlimited edition. Unlimited edition, enterprise edition. Few of them are used enterprise edition. Now, if you go for the starter and professional, you will not have something called as a analytics API. Those will not be there here. Or a development support built in, something is available. This is a simply whatever the lead management, right? Similar to the developer edition. Starter is similar to the developer edition. You will have some more access to it.
Ma'am, will they charge for each user we add to this org?
No, that's what I'm saying here. It says that user month. User month. That means it's a discussion between the client and Salesforce. There is a hard rule that per user $75. There is no hard rule. Okay, if the communication is good between the client and Salesforce, client can convince the Salesforce like you give me the 100 users license and this is the price, can you charge it? So it is kind of a bargaining kind of a things that will happen. But this they are saying it user and a month, $75. That means per user per month.
We don't have anything to do with this, no, ma'am.
No, we do not have to do anything. This is a discussion between the client and Salesforce. You are not involved in these discussions.
Clear, ma'am.
Now let's go back.
Ma'am, do we need this license?
Right now, in the developer edition, you do not need any licenses because Salesforce is providing some free licenses. So we will use those free licenses and we will work on it.
Sure, ma'am.
Is user license everybody clear? Okay, now next. Next, we will do roles and profiles. We will understand roles and profiles that we will do it tomorrow. Roles, profiles, and we will see how to create a single user and how to create a multiple users. We will see that tomorrow. Now, today's topic is most of the things are something which is related to the real time. How will I be working on it? How will I be working on it? And what are the different type of a task? Those all will be, we have understood. Any questions, whatever we have discussed today? And there are few trial heads we will give you. Go through this trial head. I'm pasting it. Go through these trial heads.